Evening, everyone, and I welcome us all to the Get Finance and Investment Tips community webinar. And today, our focus is on the ABCs of stock investing, smart moves for long-term wealth. And I want to appreciate everyone that has taken time to join this. Uh, sorry, just I will be admitting. I will just be a bit distracted to just admit people, but I want to appreciate us for being deliberate about our finance, and I know that for us to be able to create this time here today, what I also want to assure us is that all your questions, some of them that maybe you have asked and is also not being answered well, would try and create enough time. So the plan is to have this webinar for just 1 hour. We'll try, or a bit above 1 hour, and use the remaining time, 1 hour, to take questions and to answer them properly for us to understand. So as we commence this evening, I would like to just remind us of our vision as the community, that our vision is to build a financially empowered community where individuals develop a strong investment mindset, achieve financial freedom, and create lasting wealth for future generations. So I like to, that is our mindset, and trusting God that as we continue to drop those posts, that will continue to empower ourselves. So now going directly into why we're here today, and knowledge is power, and that's why I appreciate everyone for creating time to be here today. We'll be starting with stocks. Stocks, what is a stock? And because people have different mindset on why investing in a stock. So when we talk about stock, it means you have a share in the ownership of a company or a portion. So when you are trying to invest, it means you need to be able to understand the company you want to be part of. You need to be able to understand what they actually do. Because this is not where we'll discuss all the technical jargons on ratios on what to use. But if you know what does it take you to be part of something. So if you are going to buy a stock, you have to see it as a company that you want to be part of. You don't just hear people say, buy this stock. Why are you buying? Are you proud to be part of this stock, or will you have rest of mind when you invest in this particular stock? So when you have that mindset, even if you are going online, just reading different, listening to YouTube, different recommendations, you will have the proper understanding that you don't just invest in any stock. You don't just invest in any stock. You need to be sure. So you see questions on, I bought this stock. You see different questions on the different groups. Currently, we have about 3 groups, and different questions come up. I've just bought this stock. The first reason, should I sell? You need to first, if you understand the reason why you have bought a stock, then it will also determine whether you want to sell, you want to hold the stock. You have to be clear from the beginning. That is really very important. Getting clear from the beginning on why you are buying a stock. So you are becoming a part owner. So that's the mindset. So emotions should not set in. Even if you like the name of the company, if you don't like their business, if they are not making money, you don't have business being part of that company, because you are there as an investor. Who an investor is, you are to earn return. You are not just there as, let me mute this person. Yeah. You are not just there just to just be part of the number of shareholders. You are there for a particular return, for you to earn return. So how does the stock market work? Because when we have a stock market, so when companies they have created their company, they have issued shares. So to make it public, an exchange has been created, which is the exchange is to facilitate, to bring together the buyers and the sellers. So you would have people come to that market. So they will list. Some people are stating that Dangote refinery will come and list. The shares are already existing, but they are in private hands. So they will decide and come to the floor and list those shares. And as people come in, people buy those shares. So in the first instance, it is those that have the private shares that would come and sell those shares in the secondary market. After a while, you have a lot of people buying those shares and selling at different intervals. So there are different participants. So you have the company that is coming through public offer. If you know, in the last 1 year, we've seen a lot of banks come to raise public offers. These are fresh funds that they raise money. You feel whether it's online, you are buying a particular stake in that company with the benefits of, or with the aim of earning returns. So you also see investors, which is you and I. We are there for us to be able to, we are there for us to earn a profit. And one thing that we also need to always pay attention to, especially for Nigerian stocks, profitability is key. There is no magic that will happen. If a company does not make profits, they cannot pay dividend most times. So there are instances where you make a loss. See, maybe 1 out of 100, you make a loss, but because you have past earnings, you still pay dividend. But generally, you can't pay dividend. So when you also try to track stocks that are performing, the first thing you also need to see is that these companies are profitable. So as an investor, you are investing to earn profit. The regulators are there to provide the transparency, fairness. Yes, we may have issues on some stock, and that's why sometimes I state my personal opinion. Because of my own experience in the sector, this is where I play. There are some information that sometimes you cannot make that public, but you also use that to guide the community, because the idea and why I'm doing this is to empower us, to ensure it is not Ayo is saying buy this particular stock. You will see the reason why we are buying. And over time, sorry, trying to mute this person. And over time, you will see that there's a trend. Just a second. Yeah, so you would see that. I'll have to take this person. Yeah, so it's really important that we ensure that we are buying companies that are guided by good corporate governance. The intermediaries, these are the brokers. We would also talk about that even as we progress. So when you are trying to buy a stock, you place your order, buy, sell, and they are matched at different prices because it's a general market. So when we start with the Nigerian Stock Exchange, how does it work? So you already have the Nigerian Exchange Group. They already have a platform where everyone comes to buy and sell. And it's good to note that the market opens at 9:30, but active trading starts at 10 a.m. So sometimes if a stock is on full offer, when we say a stock is on full offer, what that signifies is that there is no buyer. Everyone is trying to sell. Everyone is trying to sell. There is no buyer. So if you are desperate to sell, what you would do, So I would do, for instance, because I like to make it practical, and most of these are also based on private conversations I have with community members, and as well as based on my engagement with clients. So a stock is being on offer at everyone is selling, and it's at 150 naira. Everyone trying to sell. So what you do most times is discount that price by 10%. In Nigeria, stocks can only fall by a maximum of 10%. Can only fall by a maximum of 10%. So if I'm desperate to sell and I want to kill at 9:30 when I know market is opening, but not active trading, I would kill this stock at 135. 10% of 150 is 15 naira. So I will kill the stock at 135. So I will be on the queue. So if anybody is willing to buy, I will be part of those that are trying to buy. You have instances you are trying to sell a stock. By the time you key it in, at the end of the day, it's cancelled because nobody is buying it. But you still see that there are volumes or transactions that are still done in those stocks. So it's like a queue. You have to get early to the market. So if you see the stock exchange is like a market, you are getting early. If you look at even the traditional way of going to the market, people want to quickly get to the market so that they think they can get the best. So most times when you have this issue, even if a stock you want to buy, go early, mark up that stock by 10%. If you know it's a stock that is scarce, so please get it well. If it's stock that is scarce and you are trying to buy it, it means you need to mark it up by 10%. Using this example, it means I will queue for this stock at 165. If anybody is supplying, if I'm part of those that got to the market first and people are trying to sell, I may be lucky to get it. It is not a guarantee, but in life you try and you may be lucky to get it. So there are instances, this doesn't happen all the time, but there are instances that you find yourself in this situation. You are trying to sell those stock and you can't sell. So that is also very important skill that we need to also note. By 220, most times you're unable to submit your orders in the market. So if you want to buy the stock, so like I always say, queue at limit order. But around 2 o'clock, if you think you want to get that stock that day and they have not supplied you, you can cancel your order and buy it at the current price. But if you are not desperate, let's assume, like I advise some people, you come in, you just queue for 5 days. Sometimes the stock comes down, you are lucky, they supply you. And sometimes they may not supply you, because always see the market as a lot of thousands of people coming together for different reasons. And that is why we always say it's difficult to predict at times how low a stock can go, or when it's going high, at what point will it turn? Because I can have a stock that maybe I've gained 200%. I can decide that today is the day I want to sell this stock and cash out. Some people may think that stock would go up. But if there's a stock in the market that millions of that unit is being sold by a particular person, because the person has made close to 200%. So most time that stock has not moved by more than in the last 2 weeks, has not moved beyond that level. But what would happen is by the time the person has finished selling, the person selling the bulk stock, you will see that stock will move up. So sometimes we may have some of those privileged information that you are aware that someone is selling and you are saying accumulate, buy. Because once that buyer is out of the market, that stock, or that seller rather, that stock would move. So it's also good that we note that. Sorry, let me admit more people. So please, if they are okay, I'm not checking the chats. So if they are, please, you can assist to respond to them if people are asking questions related to or having problems. You can help respond, please. Thank you. So This is on the Nigerian stock market, so it's good to understand it. And for those that have the time or want to understand when they release results, you can always go to the website. I will share the link where you can always get corporate results. So we are moving into the era, the half-year era, where companies will begin to release their results. What you need to pay attention to is their profitability. You are there for returns, so it's just profit. So if I see a company that last year they made 200, let's say 5 billion in profit, this year they are making 10 billion, it means that there's a potential, they are doing more business, and there's a potential for them to grow. These are some of the things that we try to look before we ask you to buy. So it's important that you also note that. So why do you invest in stocks? The first thing to note when you say we talk about investing in stock is for capital appreciation. And when we talk about capital appreciation, we are talking about increase in the value of the share price. So you bought GTB. So if you look at the, there was a day we were asking people to buy GTB. I think that day it came to almost 60, maybe 62, for instance. And now, as of yesterday, yesterday was Friday, it closed at 85. This is just till this month. Based on when that news on what's the name of this guy was trending, when that news was trending, a lot of people were selling. And you will notice one trend about the market that we always say that you buy the dip. So, but it is not all dips that you buy. It must be a stock that has presented value over time. So I see GTB currently trading at 85 naira. And I just get to the market and I'm seeing it at 70. I will take small, because you must always have the mindset that it may still dip. Nobody knows the exact period when it will dip. So when a stock is also going up, it becomes more dangerous. We don't know when that momentum will reduce. So when you are trying to buy, worst case, just buy a little, but with the mindset that if this stock reverses, there's a stock that we all spoke about on the platform. I think that was on group 1 on Better Glass. We have those that's really invested in Better Glass and have made a lot of money in Better Glass. So the stock went to as high as 250. And when I was approached, I was asked privately, said sell some, take profit. So when we say take profit, so I will be speaking on some of the terms, because take profit means you should sell lower than, you should sell a part, rather. You should sell a part of the stock you should sell a part of the stock that you are holding. So I spoke about GT Bank. So if I bought 1,000 units of GT Bank, for instance, bought 1,000 units of GT Bank at 62 naira, and the stock has rallied to 85, I can decide on my own that I want to sell 200 units if I have the mindset that is also going up. Secondly, I may want to sell that the value of this stock has really gone up. I've made money. Can I just take out? We have instances where you take out your profits and leave the rest. We call it runners. You just leave the rest, which is like Better Glass. The stock is not impossible that we see it at 400, for instance. But if we have taken your profits out and it continues to go up, you sell, take profit is part of the units you have, and it continues to go up. That means that the rest that you have will enjoy. And if perhaps some news negative, maybe companies, they expect they will do some business and did not work as expected and their result is negative, and it comes back to 150, for instance, and I still believe in their business model, then I will buy. with the part of the money are sold, not all. Currently, market is moving up, and there's a post I'm trying to just put together. Please, because market is going up, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't start liquidating your fixed income investment all and start putting it in the stock market. If you check you can go to the YouTube channel on portfolio diversification is key. It is not only, don't have all your investment in stock. And I want to just plead with us. This is speaking from experience. Don't have all your investment in stocks. Stocks carry a bit of risk. Yes, the return sometimes compensate for the risk that you are taking, but just have a portion. So if you're a retiree, you're on this call, or you're on the group retiree, for instance, the portion you need to have in stock should not be more than 10-20%, because capital preservation is your focus at that point. If you are just starting, you're a student, you are just putting money to, you are just starting, you may maybe have 30-40% in stocks, but over time you also begin to reduce it. So because what we see in Nigeria, there's what we call the bandwagon effect. Because stocks are going up, everybody talking about it. Even market women will begin to, men will begin to talk about, oh, this stock, it has gone up, it has doubled. Then you begin to see people just put in and overbloat those share prices. So ensure that you are well diversified. Don't put all your money, all your savings in stocks. So we'll speak about getting dividend. So you see the capital appreciation, 85 minus 22 is the difference, the increase that you are getting. The increase that you are getting, in the stocks. Secondly, sorry, I think the limit for this meeting is 100. I'm recording it, and I didn't know most of the past webinars we've not been up to 100. So maybe we'll make arrangements next time to use a platform that will admit more people. Yeah. So, but for us not to also lose focus, dividend is key when you are trying to invest. Invest in companies that pay consistent dividend. There's a culture that has been built on written rules in Nigeria. Most investors, even there's a rule that says that they should not invest in a stock that has not consistently paid dividend for 3 years. Hold on. Sorry, trying to listen. Yeah. Sorry. Please, can you mute? Okay. I have to remove the person from the call. Yeah, so the main thing is that also watch out for dividend payments. Watch out for dividend payments. Most of when you are buying a stock and they cannot pay dividends, so you would see the reaction that happened when CBN released the circular that they will not pay dividend. It's really going to affect those stocks. But I knew that they were going to work around it, because most of those that would, the people that will lose the most are the major shareholders, and they will not want to lose money by not getting dividend. So look out for stocks that pay dividend, and don't just look out for the dividend amount. So when you are buying a stock, you would also always look at the dividend you would expect relative to the share price you are buying. So Dangote Cement, for instance, is paying 30 naira, and the stock is going for that's before the markdown. That's the last time was around maybe 430. So you will look at what is the percentage dividend. 30 divided by 30. So you would see that 30 divided by 430. The dividend is at 6.9%. So I can still say if I'm getting dividend of 6.9%, it's still fair when you look at it's still fair when you look at the market. So always know it's not the absolute time that matters. Look at the ratio of what you are getting. It's very important. Diversification of your investment. Please, anytime a stock goes down and your portfolio is in disarray, everything is down, it means your portfolio is not diversified. There was a post you can go back that I wrote on recommended number of stocks minimum that you should have. Diversification is key. So you imagine that you put all your money in banking stocks last week. Your portfolio would be really red, but also think through it. Let's assume that it's only 30-40% that is in banking stocks. And you have another 20% in consumer goods, you have another 20% in the cement industry, you have 20% in the oil and gas. All the stocks will not experience problem at the same time. And that is what we call diversification. It is very important. We're all familiar with that phrase, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So when you are looking at stocks, diversify across sectors. Even in the banks, don't just put your money in one bank. Try to diversify. And for those that are long-term, try and read those posts. And I want to just encourage us here because we are representing those on the also representing those within the community. Try to, now that we post in the announcement channel, create time, even if it's 10 or 15 minutes in a day. The knowledge builds over time across different asset classes as we try to post. Some people are not there for stocks. The fixed income part too, they are there that you benefit from. So try to create time, whether it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, scroll through. And if you have more time, look at the conversations within the community at times. You will learn. There are a lot of also experienced people. And like I would say, our focus is trusting God to build people that will also be able to guide and advise, that would also understand the markets, not just me providing the advice all the time. So that is like our focus. Please, who is this again? Yeah, okay. Trying to mute. Yeah, so let's ensure we do that. Long term should always be the mindset. And for those that have joined since January that we moved to the WhatsApp group, you would observe that, yes, while we said our focus is long term, sometimes God makes that long term shorter. That some stocks, look at MTN at 170 when we started this year. If you have bought it even at 200, you are almost at 100%. And it is not stopping anytime soon. Part of why some of you may be wondering why the market is moving is foreign portfolio investors are also coming in. But you know, there's also the downside when you have a lot of foreign portfolio investors. When they also want to go out, sometimes they cause a lot of havoc. The last 3 years, the market has been controlled by domestic investors, which has created a lot of stability. So it has its positive, it has its negative, but you also take potential. So when you see that you have gained 100%, 200% in some stock, take some profits. There's a saying, there's some people that are the teachings that I also listen. You don't need any permission to take profit. Taking profit is selling part of your profit. Sorry, I'm trying to ensure the little that we discuss that we also understand. So that's why I'm not just, this is not to fulfill all righteousness that I'm rushing through the slides. I want us to understand what we are discussing. Now, if we are also looking at foreign stocks, so I would employ, if it's, don't just do Nigerian stocks. For foreign stock, the additional benefit that you get is that dollars, which is very key, which is very important. Your returns is in dollars. So imagine that you have put funds in same $100 in the last 1 year or in the last 2 years in a particular stock. So even if the stock have returned just 10%, when you look at the impact of devaluation, yes, the exchange rate is stable for this, but after a while, it is expected with our high inflation rates and import dependent level, is expected that our currency should depreciate by an average of 5 to 10% every. Sorry, I'll say average of 3 to 5% rather every year. So it does. You would see that over time you will still benefit. Capital appreciation is also there. Your dividend is paid in dollars. So what in the US market, the way it's been structured, dividend is paid directly to your wallet. In Nigeria, dividend is paid to your bank account. It means if we are talking about reinvesting, you can use, when you are filling those forms, when you are opening most of you have opened your account already. That bank, the bank you use, when the dividend comes in, just transfer that dividend back to the bank account and to your stock account and buy for Nigeria. But for the US, your wallet is credited. You can buy more of that particular shares that is paying you dividend. So even if it's $1 you are receiving, even if it's $0.5, you can add money and buy additional shares of that particular stock. So the important that we also note that how to invest in stocks. So I believe that first of all, that most of us already have stock accounts, and if you don't have, we're also here to guide you. The platform, for disclosure, I work for Afro-Invest, but you are free to open your account, whatever company that you feel comfortable with. So it is not just about that you must have an account with a particular firm. We also, I think during the week, also spoke to United Capital, for instance, for those that maybe you need a second account. Just see it like a bank account where you have your funds. And over time, you can always consolidate your stocks. So that when you buy stock in 1, 2 different accounts, you can always consolidate them over time. When dividends are paid, they pay it together, they pay it at once, because your name will be seen as one with the company. Yeah, so try and decide your investing approach. One of our objective of in this community is that we want to encourage ourselves to set something aside every month. Most of us are income earners, some of us are business owners, but try to look for a certain percentage. So if it's out of your savings, you can decide that it is only 5%, it is only 10% I want to put in stocks. The rest I want to put in fixed income, treasury bills, FGN savings bond, FGN bonds, mutual funds. But set something aside. Is that discipline that will help you? So I used to cite this example a lot when I started investing for my kids over 10 years now. So when I still looked at their portfolio valuation, it's over 100%. But the amount I started with is something that I can easily give. I can easily funds that you easily dash people that you won't even know that you have given out. That's what I started with over time. So what we want to encourage everyone, try to have something you are setting aside. There's what we call an economics windfall that comes, right? That you are not expecting a certain money, you get it. You can add it to it, but note that monthly purchase. So if for you it is 5,000 naira, you can afford on a monthly basis. Be consistent with it. The day you want to do 20,000, that will be fine based on your income. But know that you are doing 5,000. If it's 50,000 you want to do every month, try to also have that you want to put funds every month, 50,000. So it is not the amount that matters. If it's 1,000 you can afford, be consistent about it, that every month, at the end of the year, you would be surprised that you now have 12,000 naira in stocks. And when you continue to compound, you see that your stock will grow and you'll be encouraged. Starting is always the most difficult part. But when you see how your investment is growing, when you see how the investment is performing, that would also encourage you. So you need to have that part. There's something I spoke about, front loading. So if sometimes that I see a stock, if my allocation per month, for instance, is 5,000 naira, and I see that the market is on favorably very low, for instance, I may decide, if I have the ability, to spend 20,000 naira that month to acquire stocks and take a break for 4 months. That's what I call front loading. So there was a year that I did that for my kids' portfolio. I saw Nestle at 700 plus. Saw Dangote at 130 something. That's just about, it's less than 5 years ago. I had to front load that. After I bought for that period, maybe I didn't buy anything in that portfolio for a year, for instance, because I already used what I should have put there over 12 months to take advantage of that opportunity. Sometimes it happens in the market, and that's part of the understanding I want us to have. Patience is also very key. You must not buy stock. You mustn't buy every day. We are not here to trade or speculate. You have funds, you see that there's opportunity in the market, you buy. If you are new, you see that there's stock that you're buying for a long time, first take a part of it. If you are supposed to invest 10,000 naira in that stock, and I see that this stock has been going up and I think I want to have it, I can first try, in case if it doesn't come down, can I invest 2,000 naira at first? You see, I still have 8,000. So that if it now comes down unexpectedly, I'm not bothered. I had another 4,000 to acquire that stock. But if you buy 10,000 at once and everything turns, you get discouraged, because if it declines by another 20-30%, you already lost 3,000 naira. Then you get discouraged and you are wondering what kind of investment is in stock. Everything requires wisdom and requires knowledge, and that is why we are here. Sometimes you don't go in at once, and that is why our DCA, what we call dollar cost averaging or cost averaging, always works. If we are doing it monthly, last month sometimes we're trying to wait whether the market will decline, will it go up, or will it come down. When we saw that there was no period that market was significantly down, you buy at that level, because when market is down, if it's down next month, you benefit. If it's not down, what you have invested so far will continue to also benefit from the market. So it's important that you look at that. The stocks, we send our stock selections. We look at, these are stocks that have fundamentals. So the focus, we don't speculate. You would see that we have also graduated. If you check the list of the recommended stocks, we've graduated them. There's those that are fundamentally strong. For those that are conservative, you are new to stock, or you are just you are investing for the long time capital preservation. You don't want a lot of fluctuations in your portfolio. You stick to the fundamentals. If you are within, you have moderate risk appetite. For instance, you can have 60% fundamentals or 70% fundamentals and have maybe 30% we call growth stock or speculative stocks. For the Nigeria stock, there's the one we also called highly speculative. The reason why we put those terms is for you to know those that are aggressive are willing to take the risk. And we even advise, when you're taking the risk, not be beyond a certain level. It shouldn't be beyond a certain level when you're also taking a risk. It should not be beyond a certain level. Don't go and put all your money. I see a lot, even I try to, engage when people also reach out privately, though sometimes it can be very slow for me to respond, but try to also engage and have discussions. You don't go and put, I'm saying buy Ella Lakes, for instance. We've add it on our list, even when it was 3 naira. It's almost 6 naira now. But it's those that are willing, that have patient capital, or you have put what you think you can lose, because that kind of stock has, those are stocks that we're looking at 10x. So if I'm putting money, I just put what I think I can live for 4 years, I can live for 5 years. I won't even bother, as long as they are still in business. And if it doesn't work out, I won't be pained, because I know I've counted my costs before going in, that I can afford to lose this money. So you need to understand yourself. Even if you are friends, your risk appetite will be different. So always stick to that. There's a webinar we did on portfolio restructuring or portfolio management. So you need to understand that. You try to listen to that webinar and have an understanding of how you do your allocation. That is also very important. The time is running so fast. These are investment strategies, whether you are buying food, you are doing index investing. That is, you don't have for index investing, maybe you are just investing in like S&P 500, for instance. We also have NSE 30 ETF, for instance. We have that. So you don't want to bother yourself with, as GTB released results, you want to look at ETFs. So that really helps. Buy and hold is you are buying to hold. But sometimes when you see that you have made a lot of profit on a particular stock, you can take a bit of profit. The markets sometimes work in cycles. Market now, I like the way there was a period during the tariff war. You would see I was posting more, because I know a lot of us were going through a lot of pressure, panic. Why have I come into stock? When you engage, why have I come into stock? They have warned me not to do stocks. Now the market is tanking. But because we have understanding of that market, then we're trying to encourage you. Sorry, let me mute this. Sorry, just a minute. Yeah. So, but we have the understanding that things would bounce back. For those that had money, saying average down, but averaging down does not mean you also average down every day. I was a bit excited that, coming from where we have always been seeing green, for those that joined the community for a while and were so excited, and some, they were new, they've never seen the market can go. It was also a good experience. And now everything looks like all the stocks you are buying, they are going up. You feel so excited. Market works in cycles. So if you have made a lot of money, you can reduce and sell some parts. But if it's also not much, what you should do is that just keep accumulating. When they are very high, if I was supposed to allocate 10,000 to a particular stock, I may decide to just put 5,000. Let me see where it's going. You see stocks like MTN, the stock can be 500 naira next year, right? I'm not saying to get there now. 300 naira have always been my benchmark by the end of this year, but this is half year. We already crossed that. But they still have strong fundamentals. So what I'll do is I'll keep accumulating. Not those that bought Seplat at less than 500 naira. It's 5,000 now. So you also don't, when you are taking profit, or you don't sell all, as long as you still believe in that business, it will continue to appreciate. We spoke NACO. For those that follow, I was telling us buy NACO. I still bought at around 80 this week. NACO, buy NACO. I think it closed at almost 88 yesterday. There's always a trend that at a particular time, a stock will not just continue to go up. People will buy and buy at a particular level. People are buying, people are selling. When They see that this stock have fundamentals. Over time, you would see some people buying for the long time. They just buy, they are very aggressive. And that is what is happening. So you dollar cost averaging, active trading. Please, this can be very dangerous. And that's why I don't encourage it in the team. I do active trading at times, but it's because I've tried to master the market to a level. You see, I still put a caveat, to a level. Trading is out of it. You can lose all your money if you are actively trading. For those that if you hear their experiences, and I think there was a day we're sharing on one of the groups on active trading. Sometimes it looks like it's when you sell the market goes up. It's when you buy the market comes down. It's psychology. If you don't master that psychology, there's no point going into that. Growth, value, and investing. Value investing is you believe a stock on a certain amount in the long run, and you are buying into that stock now. We said Japan Oil, Ella Lakes. It's more than 2 years that we've been talking about that. Last year, it moved to about 4 naira plus, came down again to 3 naira, and it's almost 6 naira now. Because I believe the reason why I'm pushing it is I've also seen some of my friends have visited their company on a roadshow, and I've seen what they have. If the management are sincere, then I'm putting that caveat. I'm not the one running the company. If they are sincere, the business that they do, that same stock can be 100 naira in next 10 years because they are into oil palm. Now they diversified into piggery and stuff. So if you have
Doctor,
money,
what stock is this again? Sorry.
hello, please mute. There will be time for questions. Yeah. So if you have funds you want to lock away, that you just put it there and forget it. It can be 1% of your portfolio. You see, you will not be bothered, and maintain those strong stocks of 90-something%. So you need to do that. Income is you are investing for those that you'll be getting dividends. It is key. The banking stock. So within the banking sector, Citibank remains the strongest bank. So if I'm going to do my allocation, if I'm allocating 10,000 naira across, you allow GT Bank to still carry the highest because of the strong corporate governance, because of their consistency over time. That is important. That allocation, that balancing is also key. I'm trying to emphasize that because it's key that we don't just go and put all our money. So I look at Fidelity, for instance. Can speak. This is not a public forum. It is overpriced, in my view. When I used to be in research, did research for close to 10 years. I covered banking sector. The multiples that they apply on banking, Fidelity is an outlier. So I'm not saying the company is not good. Please don't quote me, but you have to be careful. I've seen people, don't go and put all your money in Fidelity Bank. Diversify. Look at banks that have been consistent over time. There's a need that we need to do that. And when you are buying, I always quote this. For those that follow me, they would even be tired of this, but you cannot. Warren Buffett just retired this year after 55 years of running his company. So there's a lot to learn from him. And he always says this, that if you are not happy to hold a stock for 10 years, you don't think of holding it for or owning it for 10 minutes. It means that it is the business that you understand that you buy. We're speaking about MTN, we're speaking about GT Bank, we're talking about Dangote Cement. It's because we know that there's still demand for their businesses. Even the Ella Lakes that I call highly speculative stocks, if you mark my words, is because they are going into a sector that has potential. Everyone is looking for stocks that are producing oil palm. Presco, Okomu Oil, see the way they are printing money. Okitipupa, people are looking for it on the NESD platform to buy. It's not available because they see that there's demand for that particular product. So if you buy a stock, you say, oh, should you sell now? You must first have a reason. Before you buy, have a reason why you are buying. So it will be easier for you to make decisions when you want to sell. No one will need to make a decision for you because you understand why you are buying. So if I buy MTN today and tomorrow I see MTN comes back to 200 naira, as long as government don't withdraw their license, at that point I will buy more for the long term. If I'm not approaching retirement, and then I will buy more. So that's the way to view stocks. You see this quote, that only buy something that you will perfectly be happy to hold if the market shuts down for 10 years. So some of you might have been used to my view or stance on Wando. Yes, the stock could have done. I was speaking with a very senior person today at an event that I was, and said bought Ohando at almost 120, and that same stock came to 3 naira for years. So I'm citing this example so that we don't get overly excited. You need knowledge to invest in this market. Yes, suddenly we saw the stock move from almost 10 naira to 100 naira and stuff. Management is key. And the money you have worked for, it is not to come and gamble. You need to have, see, like you are a part owner. If someone comes to you to say, let's do a business, what are the things you will check before you want to invest in that business? Because you're investing in a business. So once you always look at it that way, do you have confidence to be part of that management? Do you have confidence in what they do? So when you look at that, that will give you a bit of confidence when you're trying to invest. So some of the key concepts, I'm not going to spend time on because of our time. I think let me just move to when you are trying to build a strong foundation. So first of all, you need to have said you set your investment goals. So if you are just starting your career, we have students, those are NYC, so on the platform. You can start now. It can be 5% of your total savings, 10% of your total savings. Maybe for those that are new that have just joined, please don't put all your money in the stock market. We have those in 2007. Today, they're doing the discussion where people that invested in 2007, 2008, I also lost a lot of money. I even took margin loans. Yeah, so, but a lot of people sold their houses. They closed all this, they sold all the products in their shop to put in the stock market because it was going up. That is not investment. That's not the principle. That's speculation. Have a portion. The economy, we saw when the trade war started, it was like the world was coming to an end based on business. Nobody expected it. I also trade fixed income. The Eurobond market came down by almost 20%. It has never in a long time before. So always be prepared that you are diversified. And when the market comes down, if you're in a good stock, you just need to relax. If GT Bank comes to 35 naira today, I'll be happy to liquidate some of my fixed income investment to buy it because I know definitely as long as CBN does not withdraw their license, GT Bank will bounce back. I'm using that as an example. So when you are in a good stock, you know the reason why you're buying. If it's towards retirement, you just keep accumulating. You may not even need to take profit. But to take advantage of building for long term, when market is seriously down, that is when you put more money. During the COVID era, I know someone, family member, that liquidated fixed income investment, 20 million naira in that time, and put it in the fixed income market. By the time before the end of the year, that same portfolio was around 40 something million naira. And when he called me, CEO, this is my portfolio. This was that price. say, uncle, please take out your capital first. Just take out that 20 million and leave the 26 million. And that 26 million today is even worth another 40 million. But he's not bothered because he has taken his capital and is getting good dividend. He bought Zenith, UBA, GTB. These are good stocks. So if you are consistent, if we look back 2007, 2008, part of the reason, or one of the reasons why people lost money is they invested in just any stock, insurance company that don't have businesses. They just invested in just any stock. But if you invest in good stocks, there's no way you will hardly lose. Intercontinental, Oceanic, yes, people lost money. But if you are also diversified, properly diversified, it should not set you back too much. And that is some of the things we are trying to also encourage today. Please diversify your investments. The US market, diversify. The day Tesla comes down and you begin to panic because all your portfolio is in red, it means your portfolio is not well balanced. One stock should not pull down your entire portfolio. Understand yourself. If you are the type, please, even if you are here, stock is not for everyone. If you are the type that if a stock goes down by 10%, your blood pressure will go up or you begin to panic, please don't invest in stocks. You can manage other forms of investment. That's why you need to know your risk appetite. I've called Ella Lakes. What happens if tomorrow the management disappoints and money is lost? It is only for aggressive investors. You know, there's this saying in investment, we say the higher the risk, the higher the return. So those that understand the risk, and when you're also taking a risk, we call it calculated risk. There's a knowledge you understand. So you're not putting all your investments in Ella Lakes, in Japan. There are some stocks I think I listed there that we call highly speculative. It is not for everyone. So please understand your terrain. Then never borrow to invest. Please note this. Never borrow to invest. Never borrow to invest. Never borrow to invest. This is very key. You know the reason, especially in the fixed income market, in the stock market, the return in the stock market is not guaranteed. And when you are borrowing, interest is fixed. So you are working on eggshell. You are running a very big risk. Invest from the excess of your savings. If you don't have money to invest, it is just wait and be patient. There will always be opportunities in the market. Markets are not just go up and by tomorrow there's no opportunity. Those that are just new to the market today, there will be an opportunity. By the time you look at the next 6 months, you would have seen some stock that would have also appreciated. Those that will come in next year, there will still be opportunity. So please invest based on your capacity. Don't overtrade. Don't go and borrow money to invest in stock, especially in stocks. If we are talking about fixed income, when you are also trying to borrow, note that the investment you are doing, the interest you are getting must be higher than the amount you are paying in borrowing. So it may sound funny to some of us, but I discuss with people daily. And these are questions that you get. I've seen someone going to collect money at 30%, trying to come and invest at 20%. That is a mismatch. So we need to always note that. Don't put your rent in the stock market. Short term, stock market is for long term. Don't try to speculate that next month MTN will get to 400. Let me quickly put this money that I should use for rent. You may sleep outside or your landlord may kick you out. This is stock market. So I'm putting that caveat there. you don't put short-term money in the stock market. This dollar cost averaging, it hardly fails. And that is why some of us, you'll be tired of the word accumulate. Accumulating means gradual buying. There will always be opportunities. So I try to always have at least a certain amount of money in my wallet. There was a day I was even in a training. I just saw Nvidia at 87. So what's going on? That was during the trade war. I didn't have much money in my wallet, but I used all the balance in my wallet to buy it at 87. That if it goes down to 70, you see the mindset I have. In case if it goes down to 70, I will buy more because I believe in the stock. The same stock is now 144 or $141. This mindset is key. Once we understand it, you will make a lot of money in the market. We are not speculating, we are not running after a stock, but you invest with intelligence, with knowledge, you will make a lot of money in this market. So for those that had funds in their wallet, when the issue of that was just this week of the CBN on the dividend came in, no people, even the MD of Zenith even bought shares. I bought Zenith at 47 and she's already in the money. People bought, those that had the understanding bought shares. And by this week, some of them will just exit because that's just like a short-term opportunity. You don't owe the market any money. You just take your 20%, imagine 20% in 1 week, go back to your fixed income. But could have gone down further. So if you have bought with all your money on day one and it goes down further, then you will be stuck. But even if market turns, but because you have invested on that day one, then you will be able to, when it goes down on day two again, you will be able to invest. It will get to a level, those that own the stock will not be willing to sell that stock at a loss. That's what happens. In COVID in 2020, Zenith moved from almost 33 naira to 10 naira 75 was the low. I still recall. Some people panicked and sold at 12 naira. Before the end, no, sorry, it moved from 22 to 10 naira 75. Before the end of that year, that stock closed at 33. No, COVID started in January, so by March, sorry, excuse me. So stocks were already down but that you must not panic. As long as you believe in that stock. So that's really very important. I may not be able to finish this, but what the takeaways, I've tried to emphasize some of the things that we need to note. And I want us to ask questions. There's no, there's no basic questions that we'll not ask. So you would see that to encourage everyone, we try as much as possible to respond to our questions. So even if I've answered it before, I want to encourage us. The focus is for us to learn. And what will give the fulfillment is that when you look back in the next 2 years, 3 years, you can see that you are knowledgeable about the market, your portfolio is doing very well, and you are building wealth that will outlive you, wealth that you can hand over to your generations. So that's part of what the stock market will do for us. So before let me just show some charts before I wrap up and I take questions. So this is I think I put something here about speculative fundamental stock. So this will determine if you are very conservative, maintain the first pie chart. Sometimes, since I'm going to also share this recording, so that's why I'm putting. So I'm showing this. The 20% is for speculative, 30%. If you're a moderate investor with moderate risk appetite, 70-30. And if you are very aggressive, and to be aggressive, you understand the market. Don't be new to the market and classify yourself as aggressive. You will lose money. Yeah, so please just note that. Secondly, we also look at, this is Vanguard 500. So you don't want to bother yourself with which stock. I don't want to buy Apple. I don't know when Tesla is performing. You can play safe. This is always a major part of my portfolio. This stock, it may not gain as much 100% like Nvidia and stuff, but stability is also key. You should have Vanguard 500 in your portfolio ETF, the top 500 companies. So I try to do this from 5 years. You would see that even with all the market, it comes down, it still goes up. So that's where this year will come in. Even this year, when everything went down, you can see that it's almost up again. Is almost up again. So it's good to also to note that these are I call them the Magnificent Seven. If you don't want to take too much risk. So for those that have, this is 5-year return. You see Apple 129%, Microsoft 144%, Nvidia 1,400%, Tesla. So I'm not saying this stock will repeat this, but it is not impossible that they repeat this type of returns. So even if it's Amazon that you get in 5 years, 56%, that means you've invested $100, it's now $150. That is enough for $1 return. So please please try and also note that. Even as we invest, and would continue to encourage us for us to invest, and I want us to take action. I always want to emphasize that if you have spent over 1 hour here and you are still procrastinating, if you maybe questions around, if you're asking about the market, try to take action and start. Whether it's $5 you want to start with. So you see there's almost no barrier. With as low as $1, you can start investing in the US market. So as low as 1,000 naira, you can invest in the stock market. So in the Nigerian stock market. So you will need to start now. So I would thank you for your time, and I would like to take questions. And once we are done, I would also appreciate that to encourage others. So it's not just about me. Let's drop our comments, let's drop our insight on what we have learned on the group, so that others will be encouraged to join next time. This is the passion that trying to do this. It's sometimes can be very busy for me, but once we are learning, once we're empowered, then that's just the fulfillment. So please, let's try and drop comment or insight what we have learned, so that others too can also learn. Thank you very much, and we'll move to our questions. So I will start with questions on the chat, then I'll come back to those that raised their hands. Thank you. So I'll just insert a new slide to respond to some of the questions. Yeah, so the first question. So on the slide, I won't be, because most of the slides without explanation, you will not easily understand the slides. So the main thing is that this recording will be shared, and you will also be able to understand based on the explanation. The slides were just done to guide my discussion, so I'm not going back and forth. So secondly, understanding the business process of a company. Please, Mr. Adioye, I'm not clear with that question. You can expatiate on it, or maybe you can ask it when I get to the direct question. What platform can we buy from that is user-friendly and does not have high fees? So the way the market works, there's already a minimum or maximum that can be charged. Is the total fees for the broker is 1.35. Some platforms charge, 1%. Some platforms charge maybe 0.75. Being friendly is also relative. We all use banking banking apps, and we see how from one app to the other, some of them can be frustrating, but because you just believe in that particular company, you still want to manage. And that's why I would encourage have at least have two platforms that you use to trade. One can be down, which is not the fault of sometimes not the fault of the stockbroking firm. They also rely on other parties to provide that services. So can be down. And if you are on a platform where they use the same service provider, then even if you have if you have two trading platform, it means that day you may not be able to trade, but it doesn't come all the time. So you can just manage. If you feel you can manage with the one, just when it's down, just be patient, calm down, feel that that's not your day, move. There will always be opportunities. Then you come back and you trade. So um, we try to engage United Capital. And reason for that is that I know that they use a different type of platform, so that if one is down, maybe Afro Investor is down, Meristem is down, Cardinal Stone is down, maybe they may be up. There's also Morgan Capital. So there are now, because the market is regulated, when you just look at the top investment firms, with their stockbroking, you are covered. The investment approach, traditional cash, equity, debt versus alternative. This looks I'm not clear. Maybe you are trying to summarize something. What platform or app can we use for the Nigerian stock? So I've said Afro Investor 0.0 is there. You can look at Meristem. You can look at Cardinal Stone, Stanbic. The platform too is also okay. United Capital, we also posted the link. It's also you can also use that. You mentioned a website where you can get information about companies. Yes, so I'm going to post the NSC website where they post when they release results. That's where you see it. We are getting into the period that results are going to be released. I noticed Dante Cement stock is not on Afro Investor. It's not possible. It will be on Afro Investor. I use Afro Investor. I've put that caveat. I work with Afro Invest, and I'm sure that there's Dante Cement on Afro Investor. So if you're having a problem, maybe the code or something, you can maybe reach out or also drop it on the platform. You will see people that would help, will be able to guide. They will also be able to guide you. And I'll use this opportunity to also appreciate those that have been supporting others, responding, helping others. So please, it's not just about me, it's about us. So the focus is, let's keep supporting others. I may not be able to respond for a whole day at times if I'm in meetings, but when I get back in the evening, I try to just go through if I still need to. And if I miss any chat, you can always repost. As you mentioned, a website so I'll do that. Please, I will come NGS website. So I'll post the link. How do I where do I start from in getting into stock? The first thing you need to do, that's not, is open a stock account. We already have, to make it easier for you, we have list of recommended stocks. So if you don't understand the market, you can go with that. You can also add a bit of your research if you want to do it, if you feel you want to check it. But to make it easier for you, we try to list the stock and you follow conversations. Most times, like the way we take care of our health, we invest in our knowledge on area of our field. Most people don't create time to invest in knowledge about their investment. So some of those conversations, just create time. Over time, you become an expert. You even know more than us because you are following conversations, you are investing, and you understand. Can you elaborate on fixed income? Would on the fixed income, I would, since our focus here is stocks, but on the fixed income, there are several links I will share You can ask this question on the group again. That's on the WhatsApp group, so that I will post some links on fixed income, savings, bond, mutual fund, treasury bills that you can listen to. And if it's still not clear, then you ask your questions and I will also try to respond. Please, can you give a small hint on dollar cost averaging? Okay. So on dollar cost averaging, so what I mean when we talk about dollar cost averaging is that if I buy GT Bank today I buy 1,000 units at 20 naira. Then again, I buy another 500 units at 15 naira. I buy another 200 units at 25 naira. So when you calculate the total amount, you see that your average price maybe around 22 naira, for instance, with 1,700 units. So that would have helped you reduce. So when you see that the stock is down, you can buy more. You see, when this one is up, I reduced the units I was buying. When it was down, I increased the units I'm buying. So that's the best way to also use dollar cost averaging. I hope that is clear. Do you still advise we buy Hella Lakes? If you're an aggressive investor, right, you can buy a bit. It may pull, when you see that it pulls down, buy a bit with the mindset that if it also comes to about 4 naira, it may not go back to 3 naira, but just buy small, such that if it doesn't stop going up, you're already in. So you say test the water, you have put one leg in. So you can buy small, closed on bid again on Friday, but I'm sure people will sell it down maybe on Monday or Tuesday. So just buy small, and with the hope that you will buy more. This is a long-term stock that you need to wait for 3 years, 4 years, but can give you 10x. GTB at current level is still good, but if it's one-off that you are doing, then stay back and see whether it will come down. Valuation or projection is it may get to 100. But if it comes down, GT Bank is a good stock. You buy more and you keep getting dividend. Do you know if Meristem uses the same services as AfriInvest? I won't want to speak on that because of confidentiality of the services. You understand? But I already made the recommendation, right? So I already made the recommendation of what we should use that are separate, but I won't want to talk about their providers. So I'm not divulging confidential information. But also, if you also need more information, you can reach out privately. This one, the goal should always be long time. Sorry, maybe this way. But I would like to ask, what's the most suitable strategy for 4 to 5 month investment horizon? Basically, what should you look for when you're investing? I don't make recommendation for 4 to 5 months. It is short for the capital market. It may work for you for a while, but you eventually lose money. I'm 37 and currently earning 100,000 naira. Question, am I late to invest in? No, you are not late. You can start now. How much, what's the percentage should I invest? If you are talking about stocks, I think you can, if 100,000 is your earnings, then you need to know how much you are saving. Or so let's assume you are able to save 10,000 naira. So you may be putting 2,000 naira in stock. Not that won't be bad. How many stocks should I focus on? I will repost that. I'm just trying to save time. I think I dropped a post on that. Please, that announcement page. The reason why we post on the announcement page is to make it easier for us to follow conversations. So whether in the night, just spend 5 minutes, go through some of those posts, and I can assure you that over time you will become more knowledgeable about the market. So I will repost that. Kindly advice on a good platform to invest in US stocks. So Optimus Biafra Invest is fine. You also have Bamboo. You have Chaka. There's Vest that is owned by Brazil. They now accept Naira too. You can invest in there's a way through Flutter Wave. You can also invest through them. So the platforms. Maybe I'll try to also I'll try to list more. Thanks, Victoria, posting the link. I'll also share it on the platform. It's quite not easy for beginners like us. I registered. So there was one of the webinars that I did that I called it the live trade. I tried to navigate to show us how to use that platform. I'm planning, if I'm chanced, I mean, before end of this month, it will just be like for an hour, for 1 hour. So I will just try to maybe just do another demo during market, maybe between 2 and 3, so that we can move from 2 to 2:30, do Nigerian market, 2:30 to 3, maybe do the US market just for 1 hour. So I would try to maybe do another demo, but there's one that we have done to just understand. I've registered for over 1 month. I'm able to buy a single stock. Please, you can try to reach out on the platform. People will be able to, I'm sure members will guide you because thousands of customers are using it daily, and they will be able to guide you. And if also, I have to also reach out directly to you if you are still having a problem. I will also try to do that. How many stocks should I focus on monthly? My retirement plan, maybe between 3 and 4, depending on the amount. It's also relative. So between 3 and 4. On the recommendation list, we'll also repost that. So I'll come back to let me allow those that have raised their hands, let me allow them to ask questions. I'll come back to so I think I stopped at, Valentine. So let me go back to ask your question. Hold on. So I think we'll start with, so we have Mr. Simon Hame, or Mr. or Mrs. Simon. Okay, Mr. Simon Hame, please.
All right, good evening. Good evening. So thank you so much for the work and putting in. Appreciate it. Yeah, I have a little challenge quite recently with my app. I noticed that I tried to place an order, and then I was debited, and eventually the order was rejected. Then I tried putting another order again. It tells me that my account is low. I tried checking the balance. Yeah, it's reflecting, but I just cannot place in another order. I've been trying to check in my balance to know, but I just cannot reconcile.
Okay.
More like, yes, I was debited. I cannot see the amount that was debited, and then the order was rejected. So I'm just in between. Don't know what to do.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So quickly, so the first thing is you need to maybe check whether the order is still pending, and if you still persist, there's within 9 and 4 p.m. There's also the live chat that you can also reach out to. You can chat them. They will also check and maybe cancel that order to release that fund so that you can put in the order again. Sorry about that, but you can. Sorry.
You said live chat is by what time, please?
Between 9 and 4 p.m. You should be
Okay.
able to, someone will be able to, 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Someone should be able to attend to you. Yeah, so you can reach out and I'm sure it will be resolved. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes. Mrs. Adewumi, please go ahead. Okay. Ejebo Sele, sorry if I'm not pronouncing it well. Please go ahead. People are okay, dropping off.
Hello, can you hear me, Doc?
Okay, yes, Madam, please go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was speaking. I don't know what happened. All right. I was saying thank you very much for everything you do. You've been a tremendous blessing to me, and I'm sure you have been also to everyone on this call and those who are in here. Thank you. God continue to bless you. First
Thank you.
question would be around the vision, which has to do with transgenerational wealth. What must we do now to make it easy for us to transfer these shares to our children or beneficiaries at whatever time we decide to? I ask because I think there seems to be a perception around some level of difficulty transferring shares from parents to children. What must we be mindful of in how we set up the account, or I don't know, whatever the criteria or parameters we need to look out for now to ensure that there's that seamless transference of the wealth. Secondly, is cost averaging not also you buying on a monthly as you prescribe, but then buying at the price you meet it at, per time? I ask because sometimes I hear you say, look, if it's a bit too high, reduce what you're buying. And I understand that you're trying to minimize your risk, but again, as you know, we cannot predict the market. It could go up, go down. So is cost averaging not the same thing as just buying at what price you find it at? So if I bought anything at 50 naira last month and I find it at 60 naira this month, should I just buy? Or should I buy a bit with a hope that it might pull back? You know, there's a bit
Okay,
of unclarity around that.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam. Yeah, so I'll start with your second question. So the first one on this cost averaging. So with our model of monthly purchase, buy at the price you find it because you are just adding. So for those that bought MTN last month, might be around 250. This month is around 350. You buy at that level. You keep accumulating. So sometimes when I say reduce the amount that you may buy for that month. So if your monthly allocation is 50,000, I may decide to maybe just leave 10,000 in the bank in my wallet and just spread 40,000 naira. It's just with the mindset that maybe if market will come down. But if you also don't have the time, is this principle have also been practiced over time. Just buy with that 50,000 naira and just keep. So as long as it is a very good stock, just keep buying at that level. When market is down, you buy, you keep. And it's not just, you're not just buying for capital appreciation, you're also buying for potential dividends that you continue to get. So that's the way that you look at it. So your monthly buy. So by this week again, I'll start disturbing us to ensure that you do your allocation not just to stocks, to also other forms of investment. Yes, so I hope that is clear. Then secondly, on the transgenerational wealth. So the first thing to notice, to be able to transfer that wealth, you must buy a good company that you think will still exist. When you look at one of the major risks of stock is that when a company is liquidated and it goes under, the stockholders or the equity shareholders lose all. You don't get anything. You lose all. So that is one of the risks. But if it's a good company, it means that it will continue to be in existence, even if we're not yet. Secondly, on transferring it. So part of what you can do, you can have a portfolio for your kids. So yesterday I still shared the form for the minors. I will reshare it because I know a couple of people have just joined. So I'm going to repost a lot of things later today or tomorrow. open an account for your kids. But for the one you are buying in your personal name, either you have a trust or you have a will. So it will be easier for the transfer. Have a will, have a trust. Some people prefer to also use company because they were husband and wife, or they use a joint account. If unexpectedly one is no more, the second person has direct access to the stock. So they are to ensure that it's transgenerational. It means that you must be included in the will so that they can easily transfer it. Most times where it gets difficult is that there's no will, the administrator have to decide, and the owner, you have these days that people don't even know what they have, where they stock. So if you already know your stock is in maybe one or two firms maximum, all the account has been mandated, you have been getting dividend. So it will be easier for the next person taking over. So the way it's done is once the will is read or the administrator decides, they split the shares, and there's a certain percentage that is also government takes from it. But at the end of the day, it's also very straightforward once there is a will. Don't know if that is clear.
Yeah, thank you. And so
Yeah,
the
thank
will also helps us hand
you.
over to our children when they clock 18, if one is no more.
Yes, it will also
For the accounts opened in the children's name, by the time they clock a certain age, would you require a will to transfer to them, or automatically they gain access on clocking 18?
think automatically they will gain access, but they will need to know that it even exists. But when they are 18, they would have direct access to the stock. Once it's in their name, it's their bank account. So, and again, to make it more tidy, it can also be added to the will that, yes, this stock has been bought in their name and it should be given to them. You can, to make it easier, you can use a trustee that will also help you administer this. Yes.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Welcome. Yeah, so Mr. Rehab Abdul, please go ahead. Can you hear you? Okay, Mr. Nduka, please go ahead. With that, then, Mr.
Good
Omi.
evening.
Okay,
Good evening, sir.
yeah, go ahead, sir. Yeah.
Thank you very much for all you do. I really appreciate your effort. My question is in respect to foreign stocks, like
Okay.
like Nigeria stock now. Maybe let me say when you have issue now, they will ask you to email or a registrar. Let me say if you don't have dividends, and when this thing come up, you can actually ask the person to email the registrar or stuff like that. I stand to be corrected, sir. But in
Okay.
foreign stocks, but in
Yeah.
foreign stocks, I have asked this question before in the group, but I don't think I got answer. Like if something goes wrong, for example, is there anybody you can contact or email for such issues? So I just want to be cleared.
Okay. Thanks. So for foreign stock, it's easier. The dividend is paid directly to your wallet. So if you have any issue, the person you reach out to is the firm that you are buying through them. So for instance, if you are using Optimus by AfroInvest, then you reach out to AfroInvest if there's a problem. If you are using Bamboo, it's Bamboo that you reach out to and not the partner Drive Wealth. There's Chaka, there's Trove. I spoke about Vest. Yeah. So you reach out to those companies directly, but there's hardly any problem once I think they are more organized, if I'll put it that way. If you buy a stock, they keep the records, they credit you. But if there's a problem, reach out to the firm that you are using. So they will resolve that for you. And it's also good to note that for US stocks, you can also decide if you want to move your stock from Trove to AfriInvest, from Chaka to AfriInvest, from AfriInvest to, you can also move those stocks. Yes, sometimes it can be complex, but it's also possible to consolidate or move these stocks. Yeah. Thank you. Is that clear?
Thank you. Very clear, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So Mr. or Mrs. Temitope Martin. Yeah.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for this session. So I wanted to ask that at what point would you say we can take profits? So I bought the shares and the shares has gone up by 10%, 15%, 20%. Is there a recommended percentage that you say we take profit and hold the remaining, or what would you say?
Okay, so firstly is the objective that matters. First of all, if it's if it's long term that you are doing, and you just still have just 20, 30, 40%, you just keep accumulating because you are going long term. And again, if it's a stock that has strong fundamentals, you can keep holding. But let's assume it's a stock that is a bit growth and speculative, and you suddenly see 50, 100%, and you have invested a lot. So let's assume you have invested just $10, for instance, or let me naira, 10,000 naira, but you still have capacity to build. You may not, taking profits may not be will not have any major impact on you, except let's say it's 100%. You can decide. You say, I mentioned something, you remove your capital. When you have 100%, at times, it's always recommended first take out your capital. You can leave the rest. You can leave the rest. Please, you take up your capital, or let's say if it's like 40%, you can sell maybe 20%. For a good stock, never sell all. You must, because see it as you want to continue to be part of this company. Never sell all. So you sell 20, 30. It varies. I'll need to see the position where you are. I'll need to know the type of stock. So those things, but the general rule of the thumb, when you see that you made money and you invested significantly, take some profits, allow the rest to run. We call them runners. Yeah. I don't know if that's clear.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. So, Mr. Rab. So, okay, can't hear you. Pastor D.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, good evening.
I'm a female, sir.
Okay, madam, please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Thank you very much for all you do for us, sir. Sir,
Thank God, ma'am.
I watched a video on YouTube, and in that video they said there are ETFs that pay monthly dividend. How true is that?
Yes, there are ETF that pays a monthly dividend. You can ask on the platform. I can do research on one or two and post. There are ETFs. For most of them are within the mortgage industry or real estate, if I put it that way. In the US, most people pay rent on a monthly basis. So most of them that you find that pays monthly dividend, even companies, most of them are in the real estate space.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, thanks. So you can ask again on the platform so we can post one or two. Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Good evening, doctor.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, recall that around April, I told you that I tried to sign up on Afri Investor 2.0.
Okay.
And as I'm speaking to you, I'm trying it right now again. I'm still not be able to do so. I'm supposed to get a code either in my email or SMS for me to complete the process. Since April,
Okay.
as
Oh,
I'm
wow.
talking to you, I'm even trying it now as I'm talking to you, and yet the code has refused to come. So I've not been able to complete my registration on AfroInvest 2.0 as I'm speaking to you since April.
Okay, so apologies, sir. So I would personally ask someone to reach out to you so that we'll resolve this. So we'll ensure that
Thank you.
that's sorted
Thank
out
you.
on Monday. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So who else? Mr. or Mrs. Ibukun. Actually. Hello, ma or sir.
Hello, hello, Doc.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hello,
can you
sir.
hear me?
It's good. Yes, please.
Good afternoon, sir. Firstly, I want to thank you very much for what you're doing. The kind of seed that you are sowing. I don't think you have an idea. Um, you are one of the best things that happened to me this year, and I'm very, very grateful. So,
Thank God,
and of
sir.
course, this is not monetized. God bless you. I just wanted to ask. My question is around setting up an account. I don't have problem for any of the platform. I follow all the instructions you give to us. I don't have any issue. But I just want to set up some things for my children. And I'm wondering like what's the easiest way? Am I going to open already? I'm already on AfroInvest. I want to use the online platform. I don't want to use the paper one. I want to stick to what I'm doing. So am I going to open another account on my name and then use their name? What kind of IDs am I going to need for them?
Okay, so for the minor account, so the best thing is to use a form, a minor form. So I reposted that last week. Complete
Yeah,
that
I
form.
think I see.
They will generate the login details that you have to now be able to log in, but you can't create the account on the platform, because they don't have a direct BVN. And the way the
Yeah.
system is configured, it will be linked back end with your own BVN. So complete the forms and they will get their own login details. So it will be good if they all have unique emails. That makes it easier. So
Okay.
have their emails, they have their bank account. So you just use that and you'll be able to send it to the brokerage team at
Okay.
afroinvest.com. You can ask again on the platform and post.
Okay. Are there any specific ID I need for them?
Hey, I think it's just their child, their birth certificate rather, that you will need. Then your own ID card will also be key. Your
Okay.
utility bill. That's
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, doctor. God bless you.
yeah. Thank you. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think let me confirm. So that I'll quickly go back to the question on. So I go back to the chat quickly. So let me see from. So okay, the one on the blessings. Say please, if you want to, you can also ask what are you saving. If you give us an idea of what you save monthly, that may also help. And please, you can be free. You can ask your question also on the platform so that I can respond if you want to add additional information. Can you advise the good platform? So I've answered that. How many stocks are new on the group? Okay, I will repost the link on recommended stock. I will repost the minor. No, for US stocks, they don't allow below 18 to buy stock. So you can't create an account for a minor for US stocks. It's a rule in the US, so you can't create an account for them. Most times, I think they prefer that you buy into a fund rather than them buying stock individually. But once they are 18, once they have a BVN, then they can create account. Is Zenith still okay to buy and hold? Yes, Zenith is still okay for long term. For long term, it's still okay. We've seen their publication and we believe that they may still be able to pay interim dividend, and if they don't pay, they may add it up to pay it at the end of the year. I'm new to stock. How will I advise I invest 100,000 for a start? with stocks. So I believe that this 100,000 is a certain percentage of your investment. So I'm talking to Victoria, Mrs. Victoria Oyekon. So the stock you should have, follow our list, do like 80% fundamentals and 20% speculative. So maybe with this 100,000, have like 5 stock for a start. Yes, and follow those. Pick maybe 2 banking stocks, GT Zenith, buy Haradel, buy MTN, buy Dangote Cement. And if you have money, CWG, you can also add it to make it 6. So at least that would I won't speak on short term. I always professionally, stocks are not meant for short term, but we've seen that some stock we have invested in has delivered money in the short term, but you will never hear from me to encourage you to invest for short term because market can be unpredictable. So not those that will just don't worry, just invest, it can go up. You don't have control over what government can do tomorrow. You don't have control over some things, but once you are consistent over the long time, then you would always win. Do you think Access balance sheet is strong enough to sustain dividend payments in this current year? Yes, they would be able to sustain. Their payout ratio is around 20 to 30%. They should be able to sustain it, but maybe we discount it by 20%, given some of the forbearance they may be able to just take up. But it's a Access Bank is struggling, but it would over time, based on the asset they have acquired across Africa, Mauritius, and likes, they should be able to deliver. Anybody investing in Access must be patient. Excuse me, must be very patient. Yeah, so I would say I would like to bring in the absence of any other questions, bring this session to a close. And I would want to emphasize, is there any dedicated platform to guide newbies on how to invest, go about the startup? I just downloaded and I want to know if I to navigate. Please just follow it. If you have any problem, because we have a lot of people using different apps, especially most people on the platform use AfroInvest. That's what I think, but they would be able to guide you because different people would have had different challenges and most people are on board now. So thank you very much for your time. You have invested time in yourself, invested time in knowledge. So, and we pray that God will help us. You take action is key. And I'll be looking forward to what we have learned for us to share some of those things on the platform for people to learn. So it's not about me, but let people also learn, and they will also be encouraged for them to also join and be empowered, even based on our vision to get empowered even as we progress. So thank you very much. Stay blessed and enjoy the rest of your weekend. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah.
Thank you.